Hey everyone, my name is Kaby and today I'm going to show you the game I played recently. I haven't been playing for quite a while because of the real-time duties and also been sick for a few days. But it's time to get back to the game. I also noticed that a few people subscribed to the channel in a while I not been uploading the new videos, so thank you for that, and if you still not subscribed, then consider pressing that button, because I'm going to upload more videos in the upcoming days and we'll be probably hitting that first 100, which is a quite nice thing to have for this brand new channel. But anyways, let's get back to the game. It is the big wasteland map and I'm playing light against the other light player. The funny thing that I didn't pay attention during the load into the battle if my opponent is even dark or light, because I put my attention to start this recording. I used the technology that allows me to use the highest possible quality, connecting the phone to the PC. So, if you are wondering how to make it, feel free to ask in the comments. I'll provide a little guide to you. But anyways, my build order is something I already showed and described to you previously. It is 9 workers and 1 barracks into 1 quick farm. I delay my swordsman, but get my tier 2 main building faster. And what I decided to do in this game is to build to get a fast bearing, so I wanna get a dwarf tech, so for this reason I'm getting a fast forge, and since forge is available on the first tier, I'm starting it even before my tier 2 is ready, and this will be about, okay, not exactly the same, it will be ready the same timing as the forge, because they take both 46 seconds to build, so my Dwarven Forge will be slightly earlier, but this is not bad thing to have, I guess, because if I'd be ending up being rushed by 2 proxy barracks or anything, there would be a possibility to me to get a artillery tower, which is not a bad thing to have. But now that I come to my enemy's base, I see that he is light. For some reason I was thinking I was playing against dark, so I was not really confused but surprised a little bit by this fact. And we also see quite a bit of swordsman, and his tier 2 is obviously later than mine. So initially I thought that he was probably playing 2 Rex, but that's not the case. And we see my opponent just adding the first princess apparently. It is the elven tree as well as the hero altar. And on my side I already have my baron summoned. There was a little misplay in terms of the resources, but still I ordered him quite fast, I guess. So I'll have my hero ready for the first chest. And I also keep adding swordsman and also adding the sanctuary. And now that I'm getting it, that I order it, I can switch over to the wordsmith, because we see my opponent getting a few swordsmen too, so the wordsmith will be useful most likely, because they are just doing good against melee targets. My first swordsman went down, I didn't control it properly, so my enemy was able to cut him off. You may notice or not notice it in the patch notes, but in the latest build, in the latest version, we uploaded the very important tweak to the unit's behavior, and now when they press the target, they are doing it the better way, so they try to cut the trajectory, and that allows them to get to make the first hit much faster. So what they did previously is they was going to the point where they found an enemy and only then start pressing it. But now they try to cut the trajectory and go straight to the point where their target is going to. So that is sort of an obvious behavior, but there is nothing obvious in the computer tech, right? So computer doesn't know how you want it, it just does what you order him. So our system wasn't perfect previously, but now we tweaked it. So for this reason I wasn't able to escape in that little moment a minute ago. But while I was describing these tweaks, we see that I won the game, the battle for the chest. No, not exactly the game yet, but the battle for the chest against the princess. So the princess is in low HP, and I'm thinking, what am I about to do right now? Because I'm not sure what is my next objective, but obviously the next important objective to take on the map is the middle chest. But now we see that my opponent gets a significantly fast army with the princess along with the archers and even the healer. I decided to use my hero ability and then try to retreat, because my melee units obviously will not be able to retreat because of the princess, who has the magic damage and deals quite a bit to the swordsman. So I'm trying to withdraw and from the battle, and at the same time I'm building an artillery tower in the middle. So my idea here is that I pull back to like a third part of the map, so slightly behind the middle, and then I turn around and try to go to my tower, because I don't really need to fight right here, and rather than that, the next fight, important position for the next fight is the middle. But we see that my opponent decided to engage me, and I just let my Baron to do his job before his game, and that is pretty much the reason for me to use him. I was browsing my army and I found that I get a fancy set, the fancy blue common set for my Baron, which increases his crit chance as well as the damage on the edge. So because Baron is making AoE, area of effect damage, the damage on the edge is important because he can hit a few targets at once. So I just decided that I want to consider how good is he with this gear. So that is the reason for me actually to build dwarves in this game. I was just curious if it is working, if it's effective, and we could see that in this game so far Baron is quite good. He deals a lot of damage to the princess and also to the small targets. And now I am gonna do the elemental to acquire the mana well, because otherwise I'm fine. I obtained all the 3 chests on the map so far, and I was also controlling the watchtower in the meantime, since pretty much the beginning, but now his princess recaptured that, so I lost vision, but in a change I'm getting the mana well, which is a good trade obviously. And I also thought I'd add in the mana tower, the second mana tower in the middle too, because it is likely for the next battle to happen there. So that would be helpful apparently, so that my opponent couldn't use a scroll to help him in the battle. But now we see that obviously his prince, obviously I'm not ready to get a fight in the middle, because while his princess was drawing me to the edge of the map, his main army offended the middle. It is an unlikely timing, because my worker is busy building the second mana tower, so he wasn't able to repair. And I'm trying to get my things here, but they are not coming at the same time, so they are coming one after one in the portions. And we also see my opponent adding bikers, which is an interesting thing. But artillery strike went fine, but otherwise I pretty much lost everything I had. So that's not any kind of a good news. I'm trying to retreat. I'm also trying to get... I already started summoning my paladin, and I'm getting guardsmen. And what you probably didn't notice about guardsmen previously is the strong side, the strong part of those units is that they're being hiring very quickly. So you can really mass guardsmen quickly, and now is pretty much the position when I need to get just something. I'm already up to 4th tier and 2 tier 2 racks and 2 different races and also even a factory, but I don't really have units, which is quite a problem, you know, and I'm just trying to get guardsmen because I just need something. So I start to use them. I'm start to pull them in the fight. I'm not really arranging this too good, honestly, because my Paladin's aura isn't protecting everyone, but with this quick production, with this quick reinforcements, because my production is obviously right here, this is my own base. My opponent sees that he's starting to lose the units, and rather than try to kill me under this human monument, he decided to pull back and kill my mana towers, and he also captured my mana well, so I'm out of scrolls for the next few minutes. I still decided to use the gold rush, because I am really missing gold, because I'm using the 2 production facilities and they build the units really quickly, so my gold's flowing, but that's fine. Obviously you always want to spend your resources. And now that I was able to get my chest and also my mana tower back, I already get quite a bit, to be honest, because again they're being hired really quickly. We see my opponents adding a tower in the middle, so he's trying to obtain control of the middle the same fashion I did previously. I don't really care all that much, because I don't really know why, honestly, but I had a feeling that that won't be a problem, because I'll be having a lot of units with high armor, and probably that magic damage tower is not that big of a problem, but we'll see. Of course, it will anyway be helpful for my enemy to fight, but I just don't feel it to engage in it right now. Rather than that, I wanna get my stuff. I'm getting the 4th farm, I'm getting back my mana tower, because currently I can't use anything helpful in the battle, and I'm trying to force the battle, and I seem to be fine, because I get the 2 heroes, you know, a lot of guardsmen, but they're not all here, they're not all ready to fight. I also misclicked my knights. It seems that I pressed something in the left part of the screen, so they were not gathered correctly. But anyways, fight goes not so bad. Guardsmen receive a lot of damage, but that means that Baron keeps dealing damage, which is fine, and his ability is ready. I'm trying to use it straight away. I'm not even looking there, because I need to arrange stuff in my main building, and I wanna send the new units, but now I see that probably I don't have to, because my paladin went down, and I wanna pull back for now, relying on my quick reinforcements once again, and also the human monument aura, and well, as well as the mana tower aura, because my enemy won't be able to use the scrolls. He recaptured the well again, so he'll be getting more mana soon. And also the helicopter of my opponent is trying to harass me. I don't have a lot of anti-air so far, so I'm about to add a human tower, and for this particular helicopter Baron will do just fine. So that's not a problem yet, but there's a possibility that there will be more. Also, probably you have noticed or not, but I also sent a guardsman to the right part of the map, and my idea here is, if I can't recapture my own mana well right now, probably I can capture enemies. one because his army is not here. But I thought that I'll first be taking his chest, so that he won't be getting vision on this, and this will happen unpredicted, not anticipated for him, and he will not be able to react. That was my assumption, and that's what happened pretty much. It is 15-minute mark, so all the 3 chests are appearing on the map, and now we notice that he hasn't even cleared his mana well, so I won't be able to capture it with my 1 unit. But in the end I got 2 chests and he got 1. That means that I still got more resources, because I got 800 and 100 and he got 700, so I won in this little competition. And that allows me to add more stuff, and the stuff I decided to add is the tech for ballistas. I already teched up to the buildings to be able to get snipers, because I upgraded my racks to the 2nd tier quite a bit ago, and I also upgraded my forge to the 2nd tier, so I'm able to get snipers, and the idea for me to do that is a princess, so I just want to have something to be able to kill princess quickly, and it is also nice to have big damage from the distance, because the enemy can't just stand there. And here's a little nice movement from my opponent. He uses the Ring of Fire on the workers, but in the end we see that it wasn't that successful, and probably using just a magic blast and killing things off with the copters would be a better decision, because it is just not as expensive. But anyway, we had what we had, and the 2 workers went down. I'm getting those back, and I'm also trying to max out my army, getting more snipers. I felt that I already have enough of guardsmen. I tried to use the bind. You can notice that I used a control group, because when you have artillery and the long-range units, such as the snipers, you don't really wanna order things with 1 button, so you don't really want to control all your army at once, and what you want to have is that you control those long-ranged units separately, and then you control your melee army to make a shield. And honestly, in this game, in the end, I wasn't really using that, but that is really a good practice you have, and I have to learn to be successful. Because when your opponent is not that cool, it is not crucial, but when you face someone like White Unicorn or the other top guys, you'll really be punished if you control it the wrong way. So we use the 2 scrolls. He used the Rings of Fire and I used the Meteorite in a change. He's trying to take down my Baron, but afraid of the ballista and starting to pull back. That's probably the wrong call, because finishing off that Baron would be really helpful, because that hero really deals a significant damage in any battle with large scales, in any large-scaled battle, because of his area damage, and obviously snipers are extremely useful against this static defense, and this fight is honestly just being messy for my opponent, so he started it with getting a lot of damage on his princess, so there was no reason on earth to even face checking my high ground with that princess, and rather than that he had just to use the all-seeing eye if he wanted to see what I was doing. And then I just got the better army. So my army was much more expensive. Rather than using the food on the wordsmith, I got a lot of snipers and a lot of guardsmen, along with the 2 heroes, and both of them was doing this significant damage, and Paladin tanked pretty much everything. So all my enemies' army went down, and my army is still fine, and I lost probably a half, but I was trying not to forget to reorder that, and you may notice that I don't float really high in resources, which is the most crucial thing in any RTS, obviously. and now it is almost 20th minute mark, so I'm forcing my units to the both chests at the same time. My main army is going to the right one, to the enemy's one, and my one unit is go to this left one. I think that pretty much the right call for my opponent would be sending this princess not to this position, but rather to the other position, which it is a predictable thing that I'd be sending there just one unit, and very often the players just send one worker, and of course princess could just obtain the chest and then get back in the fight quickly, because with all the pros of my army there are also cons, and cons is that it is extremely slow. You can't imagine the slower army than the one with mass snipers and ballistas. They are extremely good against archers with the princess, of course. My army is pretty much a counter to what he does, but it is of course very slow. And what I also want to do against that, apart from just being quick on the map and control objects, is that you want to use meteorite on those ballistas pretty much, but you have to have mana for that, and now I'm not really letting my opponent eat, because I control both of the mana wells. But he captured one with the biker, and that's really a great call, but I'm not sure that he has enough now, because he lost all of his army and he didn't get any chests. Throughout the whole game he only obtained one middle chest once, and even then I got the two small ones, so I'm still up in the resources, and of course the resources is the most important part of any really real-time strategy. Well, sometimes you can micro things out like a godlike and probably can win what you was not supposed to, but that is not the case. My opponent didn't perform any close to that level. He just played a normal game while being behind, and he didn't win the fights that good, so to be able to come back from that in behind position. So I just wasn't panicking, I switched to the right army and got the right objects on the map, and that allowed me to win in the game that looked dicey at the moments, but eventually it went quite fine. So that's the game I wanted to share with you guys, so I hope you enjoyed it, and make sure to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss the further ones. And for today I wrap it up. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.